All right, we should be live. All right, Shalom. This is the brother Gamal Yala and the brother out of Dallas camp.
Sha'ar, Shalom, brothers. YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Rakakadash, Brakathum.
Khan, first and foremost, we want to give our praises to Yahawah,
YAHAWAH,
Bashim,
BAHASHAM,
Yahawashi,
YAHAWASHI,
Bashim,
BAHASHAM,
Kakadash.
Rakakadash.
Khan. And we're just coming at you, brothers, with a quick lesson. Lord willing, it's going to be edifying. Double honors to our elders and apostles, a great millstone. Shalom to all the Akim that are pushing out this truth and sincerity. All right, me and the brother just coming at you with a quick lesson. All right, and it's going to be centered around Esau. Matter of fact, what was the title that I had? It was white dominance over Jake. All right, and white dominance meaning the so-called white man or Esau. That's Esau in the scriptures. All right, which he is the wicked of the earth, which we're getting ready to prove in a second. And Jake being you Israelites. All right, Jake is you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You're the chosen people of the Most High. All right, and you know you're Jake. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get that Job 9:24, and then just keep going in the spirit.
God. This is the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?
That's right. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. All right. So that means, what does that mean? The power, the resources, basically everything on earth, or the rulership, the kingdom, is under the wicked's authority. It's under the wicked's rule. All right. And the scriptures also say, I can't remember this precept off bat, but it says, when the wicked are in authority, Proverbs 29:2.
Yep. I'll read it for you if you want.
Yeah. You can read that.
Okay.
But just real quick before you get that, the one thing about the so-called white man is he has complete dominance over you Israelites. Okay. All right. He controls everything. He controls the media. He controls your conversations. Well, he controls your conversations through the media. All right. He controls your food supply. All right. He controls your money. All right. Every facet of society, this so-called white man has dominance over you. Okay.
That's right.
And you can get that, brother.
Con, and I was just going to land back off what you were saying, man, because you were bringing up some very good points, some very valid points about the so-called white man and how he has dominance. And that's why the scriptures consider him as being the prince of the power of the air. You know what I'm saying? Because the Lord had actually given him the authority to have rulership and dominion over the planet Earth. Thus, we read it in Job, the 9th chapter, the 24th verse. And it also goes to show us that these curses are real, man. And this shows you that the spirit and power and essence of YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI is real, because all these things were already prophesied to happen within the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? Even when you go into the prophecy of what Esau was going to be doing, the so-called white man was going to be doing at the latter days, it said that he was going to rule the earth with the sword. You know what I'm saying? He was going to rule the earth, and he was going to pretty much loosely paraphrasing, rule the heavens and the earth. You know what I'm saying? So once we see these things that Esau does, once we see the different propaganda that he pushes, once we notice we notice it, I'm talking about the people, the witchcraft that he's pushing, it's evident, it's made manifest, it's obvious that this so-called white man is the devil. You know what I'm saying? Look at the things that he does. Everything that he touches is completely left-handed. And you had made the statement pretty much how he is in the power seat, and we have to go to him for these things. Because you read it in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, that we were going to have to go to our enemy for the want of all things. So the things that we're seeing right now are pertaining to prophecy. And it's showing us that these words that are written in this book are real. Because Esau, the so-called white man, is playing that prophecy out to the T. And he's going to do that because YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI had him set up to have that position within the planet Earth of being that wicked ruler that was going to rule for a period of time, and to be made that example on how not to rule the planet Earth. You know, now I got this pulled up here in Proverbs 29, and afterward I'm going to jump down to 16, brother, verse 16. But this is Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And if you want to break that down, you got it.
Yeah. So it says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. So is not the earth in mourning right now?
Right.
You know, is not the animals in mourning, the you know, whole the trees in mourning. Everyone is in mourning. The state of the world is in a state of depression. All right, there's war going around. There's you know, evils, pestilence, you know, outbreaks, just everything that could go wrong in the world is happening right now. Everything that could possibly go wrong is happening. All right, you know, like the elder YAHAWAH always says, we're living in the worst case scenario.
Right.
You know, and it says when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. All right, and you know, under the so-called white man's rule, under his authority, everything is jacked up. You know, and you know, the premise of this lesson is that you so-called Jakes, you Israelites, you're under complete subjection under your master. Okay. Right. You're under complete subjection under your slave master, and there's nothing you can do about it except for call on your power. That's the only way that you can actually you know, beat this devil. Okay. Exactly. You know, you had anything you want to say, brother?
I actually have because it's still more in the Proverbs 29 and verse 16, but I had a very quick precept in regards to the statement that you had made, which stood out, which goes into how, since this devil has had his seat in rulership, everything in the earth is out of whack. Everything's out of its original course because everything's unbalanced. Okay, this is Psalms chapter 82, verse 5. It says, they know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All right. And when you go into the word walk, that means really a lifestyle too. You know, it's how you conduct yourself. You know what I'm saying? So it says, you know, they walk in darkness. But this is the key point. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. All right. And you have reasons why the foundations of the earth are out of course. One reason being that you have a wicked ruler that's in power, that's destroying the planet Earth through the different decrees that he pushes, whether it be, you know, digging into the earth, fracking, you know what I'm saying, trying to find these oils, finding these different minerals and stones in the earth, you know, throwing trash in the oceans, throwing trash in space to the point where you have an orbit of trash regulating around space. You know, everything that this devil's doing, it has a domino effect on how life is supposed to be established. You know what I'm saying? Everything that this devil does, it decays more and more on life, and you see life fail and death grow more since this devil's been in power. And also, too, on the same footnote, the true rulers of the planet Earth, who are the Israelites, us, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, we're placed in this position right now where we're the poor. We're the rightful rulers of the planet Earth, but we're placed within this position. All right? So that's another reason why the earth is out of whack. You even go to the Holy Land. You go to the land of our inheritance, Israel. You go to that land, you look at it on TV, and it looks like a desert wasteland. It's nothing but death and dryness that circulates that area because you have the devil living over there, inhabiting that place. Granted, there are Israelites that are there because prophecy had to be fulfilled about us being scattered across the four winds of the earth. But you have those devils that are really taking up that land. And really, when you look at us being the children of the Most High, even the nation of Israel, even though they're wicked, you know, like, for example, speaking as one of the hopeful elect, we're surrounded by life. We're filled with life. Why is that? Because we have the spirit and power of BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI that dwells within us. With that being the case, when we was in our right state of mind as a nation in that land, it was full of life. You took that life away from the land, death was there. Death flourished. And not even just within the land, but the whole state of the planet Earth. Because as you read it in 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, it's written that he had made the earth for our sakes. So as we're in this land full of strangers that was prophesied we was gonna have to go, you see the earth out of whack. You got the unlawful rulers in power right now, and you got the rightful rulers in captivity. So it's just everything's unbalanced right now. Of course, we know it's the doings of Yahweh BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI ultimately, but everything's unbalanced. All right, and it's going to be balanced when he sets his men back up within that position to rule. And that's when these people are really going to see how to rule the planet Earth, because it's going to be done through the sons of God. That's right, the princes of the power. All right, Lord willing, we those men. It's going to be ran by YAHAWASHI, and under him it's going to be the 144, and the leading that 144 is going to be King David. Okay, and that's going to be the governing body on how to rule the planet Earth. Okay,
yeah, that's right.
Now, I did have that. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
No, you good? No, you had something?
Yeah, I was going to pull up that verse 16 in Proverbs 29 as well.
Yeah, get that.
This is Proverbs 29, jumping down to 16. It says, when the wicked are multiplied, transgression increaseth, but the righteous shall see their fall. All right. And we're living in a time right now where we see things happening. The spirit of Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is revving these things up to the point where we're seeing things take place. We're seeing so many things take place that ancient men actually wish they could see these things, as is written in Matthew the 13th chapter. You know, it said a lot of kings and prophets desire to see the things that we see. That's why the scriptures say, blessed are our eyes. All right. But if this is the time for real, that YAHAWASHI is coming back, which we believe he's going to come back soon. But reason why I say if, because we don't know exactly. That's why I say if. But pretty much with us believing YAHAWASHI is going to come back soon, that must mean that this is the generation right now that are going to witness the downfall of our enemies. And the scriptures say, blessed are your eyes, for you see these things. We see these things take place. We see it economically. We see it geopolitically. We see all these things take place, and that increases our hope and expectations of what Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is about to do. Because the beginning of the verse says, when the wicked are multiplied, transgression increaseth. And you read that in the book of First Maccabees, after Alexander fell, you had those 4 generals that ruled the earth. And when you read that in Maccabees, it says wickedness increased in those days, because that's when the so-called white man really taken hold of that rulership. That prophecy that was prophesied in Genesis, the 27th chapter, that was when they actually were placed in that position to rule the planet Earth. And they've been ruling the planet Earth since then, except for that 1,000-year void where we ruled for a little bit of time. You know what I'm saying? The so-called white man has ruled since then. So we see the things take place. We see the prophecy take place. We see the transgression and wickedness increase since the so-called white man has been in rulership. Now, the question is, what has to be done in order to stop that? Because you got a lot of these people that are out here that'll go toward Christianity, they'll go toward Egyptology, they'll go toward Islam, and none of this stuff has an answer to the issues that are going on the planet Earth. That's why it's rightful for us to stand up within its stead and rule the planet Earth, because through the spirit of Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, we have the answers. And the people that are going to rule, the people that need to rule, are the people that have the answers, man. Those are the rightful rulers of the planet Earth. It's written that we need to rule in order for the planet Earth to flourish, man, because we've seen these devils. Yeah, I said it. You so-called white people are the devil. And we see the way you devils rule the planet Earth. Change has to be done. Change has to be done in order for life to be pushed, because this devil pushes death, deception, and death. All right. And everybody wants a better world, peace on earth, peace on earth. It ain't going to be no peace on earth until the wrongful rulers are destroyed and placed in captivity, binding their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of irons, as is written. You got it, brother.
Con. Hey, you said a lot, bro. You know, that's the spirit. You know, because like you said, this devil has to be put out of place. This thing, the earth cannot sustain this so-called white man in rulership anymore. He's got to be put out of the earth. He's got to be put out of this seat, you know, because he's proved himself to be unjust and unfit, you know. And you know, matter of fact, get Daniel 9:14, I believe that's what it is. No, it's like Daniel 4:17.
Okay, I got you. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 4, verse 17. All right. And it reads, "This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basis of men."
That's right. So so the Most High has set up over this place the basis of men. All right, which who's the basis of men? That's Esau, the so-called white man. So and it's like a the Most High really kind of has Jake in a trick bag right now. Because it's like it's like knowing that you're better than someone, but they always get the credit. Like, I know that I'm great. I know that I possess power through the spirit of YAHAWASHI, but right now, this so-called devil always gets all the credit.
Right.
And pretty soon, the tables are gonna turn, and Jake is gonna finally get, his due credit. Now, I have a video that I wanna show. All right, and this just real quick. I'm not gonna play the whole thing. All right. Matter of fact, I'll start with this one. But this is what kind of really sparked the idea for this lesson. All right, which is I'll just play it real quick. But you had this guy, Leon, 4 years old. All right, he turned his whole face white using nappy cream. All right, and basically, I guess the mother had you let someone else watch the kid, and they were basically like, "You're not gonna believe this." All right, and she saw a picture of her son basically covering his face in this white cream. All right, and it says shortly after starting school, Leon asked for his face to be spray painted white. All right, and that's the witchcraft that the so-called white man. That's the power that the so-called white man has over you, Jakes. So much so that you want to be like him. You want to be white. Why? Right. Because you see the power that he has. You see the dominance that he has over the world. Ooh. All right, and this is another video real quick. I'm gonna play this too. But this is basically I'll just say what it is. This is an experiment that they did, all right, with dolls. All right, and they took some young children, and they had a white doll and a black doll, and I'll just play it real quick just so y'all can get an idea.
One is the white doll. Which doll is?
Hey, can you hear the audio, brother?
Absolutely.
Okay, gone.
The pretty doll. Which doll is the nice doll? Which doll is the bad doll? Which doll is the nice doll? And which doll is the bad doll?
All right, so you see that? So that was just a quick snippet. That was really all the point of the whole video. But as you see, it said, which one is the pretty doll? They pointed at the white doll. They said which one is the nice doll? They pointed at the white doll. They said which one is the bad doll? They pointed at the black doll. And that's that self-hatred. That's the power. That's the psychological power that this devil has over you Jakes, you Israelites, man. He has that dominance. He still has you in a slave mindset. He has you beat down so much to the point where you hate your own selves, where you picture your own selves as being bad. You picture your own selves as being not pretty, and not favorable,
Right.
And hey, brother, if you had anything you wanted to add to it or any precepts, bring it out.
Yeah, I got most definitely. I got a precept, but I was gonna make a point to just land back, and that was very interesting. That video that you had played, and as you had made that statement, it goes into self-hatred, and that was an ongoing, perpetual device that the so-called white man had used for us to be in a position that we're in, and for him to be in the position that he's in right now, ruling over us. He would push. One thing that he pushed that already, excuse my language, but fucked a lot of our minds up was the idea, I should say, of white and black. All right, because you have white, which actually represents purity, it represents blissfulness, it represents beauty, and then you have black, which represents death, destruction, hatred, darkness, magic, so forth. And as you got the picture pulled up, you see Eve, the so-called black woman. All right, this is a product of what the so-called white man has done. You know, they'll look at this and they'll say this is beauty when you're really showing self-hatred because you're willing to take away what the Lord gave you and put on that facade or that image of your enemy, man. You know what I'm saying? Now, where I was getting up with the whole white and black ordeal, you have an individual that goes by the name of Johann von Blumenbach. All right, and him and a few other individuals had pretty much classified races by color. All right, because back then you had ethnicities, you had ethnos or nations that was classified by their nations. All right, but then it went for you know, he brought up the idea of Caucasoid, Negroid, and Mongoloid. All right, and Negroid goes back to actually the word death. When you go into the origins of the word Negro, it goes back to the word necro, which means death, where you get the phrase necromancer from, necrophilia, you know, things that have to do with the dead. That was the stigma, I should say, that was classified at us, which also shows you how dope the Lord is, because he clearly said you were going to go through these curses and death was part of it. Because after he said, "You shall eat the fruit," what did the Elohim say afterward? "Surely ye shall die." All right. So after those different philosophies were taken in, it was an ongoing process of how we conducted ourselves. We started learning the ways of the heathen. We started doing different things, and that led to us to be full of death because we didn't have the ways of YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI in us. And on the other hand, you have the enemy, the true harvesters of death. They put forth this image of being angels of light, as is written of in the scriptures, when really they're the ones that push death. They're really the devil. But it shows you prophecy that they are the gods of this world, because anybody wants to be after a God that they believe. With us being believers of YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, we follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. All right, the Spirit's on us, and Lord willing, it stays on us to try to continue to fight so we can be as godly or godlike as possible, right? And that's within us being in the right state of mind. Now look at our own people in the left state of mind, in the wicked state of mind. They want to be like the God that they served. That's why you had that video where those little so-called black children pointing at the white baby, saying this baby's good, and the baby that looked like your damn self is saying this baby is the evil one. And you're not taught to think like, okay, this baby looks like you. You're calling yourself evil. You know, that goes to the God that they truly serve, man. And it shows us through tradition. You know, for the child to point that and say that, it has to clearly show you the mentality that those parents had and the mentality their parents had. And just going into it, it's an ongoing process. But I don't want to speak too much. I want to pull this precept out if that's cool.
Come on, bring it out, brother.
This is 2 Corinthians chapter 4. I'm going to start at verse 3. It says, "But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost." And our own people are lost, because that's who this gospel is meant for. It's meant for the Israelites. Okay. Verse 4 says, "In whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not." And that's an example of a blinded mind for children to point at this baby and say, this is the bad one and this is the good one. When you're saying the good one is the one that's the enemy for real, and the bad one is the one that looks like yourself. And those were just examples that you had shown, which were beautiful examples. But those were only 2 examples out of the many examples that you see when you look out the window, when you see Jake, when you scroll down social media, when you see the mindset of these people. It shows you the true God that they serve, man, because they'll be willing to back up their ideologies, their philosophies, and go into them. But when you actually truly show them life, which is within these scriptures, they don't want to hear it, because their God is the so-called white man. Their God is the ones that has him in captivity, and they'll acknowledge it subconsciously, subliminally. They might not openly say we don't worship white people, but within those actions and those examples that you were just shown right there, which was crazy, which was dope though at the same time, you know, it shows you who they truly serve, man. God. Because the scriptures say that he was going to have rulership over the planet Earth. And this is the long, ongoing, perpetual hatred that the so-called white man has done for us. So when he sees these things, and when he sees the ways that we carry ourselves, not even just we, I don't even want to put myself or yourself within that category. I'm talking about these. When the reason why I said we, because Israel. You know what I'm saying? But when you look at these niggas out here, I should say, and see how they conduct themselves, you see death, man.
Right.
It shows you that they worship the so-called white man.
Yep. Yeah. If I could say, bro, just to add to your point, damn, I lost my train of thoughts. Like it.
No, it's all good.
What was I getting ready to say? Matter of fact, finish your preset and Lord willing to come back. I don't know why I just blinked out, but you got it, bro.
Okay, hey, I'm long-winded, Salaki. That might have been me, man.
Nah, bro. Nah, it just slipped my mind that quick. But you got it though.
Con, I actually have another precept I wanna pull out. Okay, and this goes back to when Jacob and Esau when they were youngsters. All right, when you go into the prophecy in Genesis 25, I should say that was the prophecy I actually meant to bring up. You know what I'm saying? When they were born, and then you jump to Genesis 27, where actually it goes into vivid detail about how we had received the blessing. You know what I'm saying?
Salaki, I remember the point I was gonna make. I was gonna say I was basically gonna say how Esau, that's one reason why Jake always wants to include Esau in salvation, is because they've been taught it. Jake can't even wrap their head around being chosen. They always want to include Esau. And that's that slave mentality. That's the results of being on the bottom for so long, being under the curses for so long, is that they have no self-esteem. They can't just accept that the so-called white man is the devil and that you're the sons of the living power,
right?
Without, it's always, but what about the white man? What about the white man? And like you said, that goes to show that he's their God. He's you niggas God. It's because he's always in your mind. You can't just accept, you can't just be chosen and which, just to clarify, like you said earlier, it's not a thing about black and white, because that's what they made it to be. We just had to throw that out there. But this so-called white man has successfully brainwashed you guys. But you got it, bro. That was just the only point that I wanted to make.
God, and that was definitely a beautiful point. It's like, how many times does the scriptures talk about Israel being the chosen seed, the royal priesthood, the royal people, you are God because you are children of the Most High. You find this all over the scriptures, and it shows you why it has to be placed in the scriptures all over the place, because it wouldn't be in there if it was something that didn't need to be pushed. It needed to be said because the scriptures talk about it was going to be a point of time where the falling away had to happen. You know what I'm saying? And you look at Jake and they are so astonished when you tell them that they're a holy people, and they don't want to acknowledge it. But the scriptures clearly say that's why it continually says it over and over and over again. And that's why it's only meant for certain people to get it, because the right ones are going to wake up and be like, man, yo, we the princes of the power. Man, I ain't about to include. Hey, did he ever include us within the blessings that he got? This nigga ruled the earth with the sword for years. Had us in slavery, captivity, beat our women, raped our men, raped our children, still raping our children today within these politicians. And Jake still want to be intermingled with these people, man. It just shows you that these people are fit for destruction. But again, it also shows you the witchcraft that Esau's done and the perpetual hatred that he has had from us from the beginning, man.
That's right.
And that's how he's been ruling the planet Earth, fueled off the hatred that he has towards us. That's why all the laws that he establishes is against us. It's meant for us not to push. Go ahead, brother.
Oh, I was just gonna say, Salakia. Matter of fact, since you said that, I'll get this precept real quick. Ezekiel 35:5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred. All right, and when you actually go into that word perpetual, all right, which actually I could just grab it, but
Yep.
I'll just grab it real quick. Damn.
It's like ongoing, continual.
Yeah, continuous. And I think there's one word I wanted to highlight. It says ancient time, past. So he's basically had an ancient hatred going back to, like you said, Jacob and Esau. That's ancient. That's the ancient hatred, you know, that the so-called white man has for you people. But it says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, and the iniquity that their in the time that their iniquity had an end. That's right. So like you said, it's been a ongoing hatred. It's been from the ancient times, and it's even today. Okay, and it hasn't gone anywhere. And it says they shed the blood of the children of Israel. All right, so they've killed millions and millions and millions of you Israelites. You know, now you tell me, is that love?
Right.
You know, and you got it, brother.
Con, I got a precept. I got this precept here in Genesis 27.
Con.
And this is actually a direct precept to what you had brought out in Ezekiel 35:5. It says, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing. All right. Now I must explain, you know, and there's more to it, but it says, and Esau hated Jacob, and it clearly tells you why Esau hated Jacob back then. Now, did that change? That energy is still on the planet Earth right now. So the reason why all these things are taking place, the reason why he's ruled the earth the way he's done and had our people in captivity the way that he had us, is because of the blessing. Like you had stated, it's a perpetual hatred. It's an ancient hatred. And this is where the hatred derives from. The source of the hatred is because of the blessing that we received. All right. It says, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing, wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. Now, question is, did that happen back then? Did Esau slay Jacob back then? No. They even linked up later on and gave each other a hug when they got older.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it shows you, it actually shows you that it's within his descendants. It's within their children and their children's children. It was going to be an ongoing battle from since they were born, since the time of when YAHAWASHI comes back. It's going to be an ongoing battle. They were fighting in the womb, and that was spiritual within itself. And the prophet Ezra had broke that down when he read it in 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter. He clearly told us why they were fighting in the womb.
Yep.
You know, this is a very ancient hatred. This ain't just by accident. Why you know, you got these why you had these Aryans, even though they ain't even the fucking real Aryans, man. But you got the Aryan Brotherhood, the bald-headed, skinhead Edomites, you know what I'm saying, coming against Jake, you know, the KKK, you know, these politicians, these cops, everything set up against us. It ain't just because of the skin. A lot of people just think that it's because of skin. No, it is not because of skin. People think it's because of skin. You know, it's because of the blessing.
Mm-hmm.
You got it.
Yeah, and it's like you said, it's because that blessing, and it's a jealousy hatred. That's what it is. It's a jealousy hatred, and that's why you know, these Edomites want to be like Jake so bad. That's why they look up to Jake, you know. But also, if I could say this, you know, they pass on that hatred down to their children, you know, which of course everything, you know, they're reincarnated anyway, but they pass on that hatred at a young, you know, a lot of these kids, they're taught at a young age to hate you Israelites, you know. And you know, that's something that Esau has kept, is that hatred, you know, just passing it on down, and that's how, like you made that point that he said how Esau didn't slay Jacob back then, but now he is. Why? Because he passed on that hatred to his children, you know, just like oral tradition, you pass on to your sons, like, hey, this is the history. Jacob is our enemy. He stole, or well, that's what they'll try to say, you know, he stole our birthright, you know, and blah, 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 you know, so on and so forth. But that's where that hatred stems from, you know. But you got it, brother. I got about maybe 5 more minutes. I don't have my so we'll probably get a couple more. I don't have my laptop charger. So Lord willing, we might do a part 2. This is a good lesson.
Con, absolutely. I feel the same way as you, brother. Yeah, and I was even gonna land. I got a precept too, but I was gonna land back. Yeah, man. People they get it. Esau get it confused because they'll say we stole the birthright. Nigga, you sold your birthright. You sold your birthright for some carnal shit, even though it was already set up for us to have the blessing anyway. But we didn't go to you and choke you and hold a gun to your head and say, "Give us the blessing." No, you came from the field hungry and you weren't willing to fast for a little bit. Instead, you thought about your belly, which you always have done, and said, "Oh man, yeah, oh, it's cool. Yeah, I said my birthright. I'm about to die." You thought about your goddamn self, you selfish motherfucker. So that's the fruit of your labors.
Yep.
Shouldn't have been selfish.
And he's
even
weak.
Though he's weak.
Yeah, Salaki, I was gonna say he's weak and dramatic because he wasn't about to die.
Right. Right. It was a phrase. "Oh, I'm parched. Sheesh. Oh man. Oh, that looks good." And how we are, the salesman that we are as a people, supplant, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Hey man, it's good you have it, man. Just give it a blessing. It didn't even hesitate and say, "Cool, thank you." And then when it get mad when it actually happens. Shows you how petty the so-called white man is. It shows you didn't deserve the blessing. You wouldn't have known how to handle it.
And he tried to go receive the blessing still.
Right, man. Shows you that he's not a man of his word. I got a precept.
Con.
This is 2 Maccabees chapter 7, verse 31. Now, this is an account with those brethren being tormented by Antiochus, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Now, just a brief history, and the 7 brothers being Israelites, all right, with 7 represents completion. And a lot of times when stories happen in the Bible, that's a picture of something that was going to happen later on, of what we all are going through spiritually. All right. And Antiochus, he's an Edomite. You know what I'm saying? So, and they knew he was an Edomite already. You know what I'm saying? When you read this, they already know that they was Edomites, But I'm going to read this here in 2 Maccabees 7 and 31. It says, "And thou that hast been the author of all mischief against the Hebrews shall not escape the hands of the Most High. For we suffer because of our sins. And though the living Lord be angry with us for a little while for our chastening and correction, yet shall he be at one again with his servants." And why is that? Because of the blessing, because of the covenant that he had made with us, because of the promises that he had made with us. All right. And Esau having that mischief and having that malice towards us, that was an ancient hatred. When Antiochus had seized the land of Jerusalem and had sacrificed swine's flesh and did all those things, it wasn't only just because of what had happened between him and Ptolemy, man. No. It wasn't only that, man. Of course, yeah, he wanted to take anger out, and he went to us to do it because of our structure and our beliefs, but it goes back to that perpetual hatred that you had explained. It goes back to that hatred. And I even, it's funny because, Haman, you look at Haman tried to do the same exact thing Antiochus actually did to us. Haman tried it. It just didn't work because we all went turned to the Lord, and he delivered us out of that situation. But Antiochus, he did that. You know what I'm saying? But the reason why, because again, when Haman felt that way, when Antiochus felt that way, when Agag felt the way he did, when when all those different Edomite men felt the type of ways they had felt, it goes all the way back to the blessing, why we received it. And that even predates that, because that goes all the way back to Cain and Abel.
Yep. So
this is an ongoing, perpetual hatred that this devil had for us for millennia.
Yeah.
A long period of time. And it's matured. It's matured over time. So that's why you see the things take place. And you got these people that are like, "Oh, we just need to love everybody and have peace." That ain't gonna fucking happen. Their blood has to be shed first in order for peace to truly be on the planet Earth. That's the only way, because that goes according to what the Lord had stated. That's part of the law. You got it.
Con. Hey, that's exactly right, bro. It's an ancient hatred, man. And that's why Esau is going so hard today. All right. That's exactly why Esau is destroying you Jakes. He's destroying your neighborhoods. He's destroying the earth. He's destroying everything. He He hates you so much that he'll destroy himself in the process.
Right.
You know, that's what he's doing. He's destroying him. He's destroying the same earth that he lives on, just so he can get rid of you and try to wipe you out. That's hatred.
Right.
You kill yourself just to kill your enemy. That's the hatred this devil has for you people. You know, and so I'm gonna get this last precept. I'm on 3%, and we'll probably have to wrap up. Salaki, I wish I had more battery on this thing. But it's Hebrews 12:16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. And that's really what it's all about. That's where the hatred stems from. And like you said, it goes before that too, with Cain and Abel. You know, but it says, for ye know that how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected, for he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. All right, so, and that just goes to show that the so-called white man, he's not going to repent either. Okay, he doesn't have repentance in his spirit. He's going to keep going hard and going. He's going to keep trying to destroy you Israelites to his demise, you know, because the Lord is going to continue putting that proud spirit on him, just like he did Pharaoh, you know, in Egypt. You know, he's going to continue just, you know, even after he sees the power of the Lord magnifying on the men of the elect, even after he sees that, he's going to still push it. He's going to still try to fill his belly, you know, and the scriptures also say, when roughly paraphrasing, but basically when he tries to fill his belly, that's when the Lord is going to take him out. All right. When he tries to take that last bite, you know.
Yep.
So that's, you know, we have to know what we're up against, you know, and you know, this whole lesson was really just highlighting the magnitude of Esau's power that he has over you Jakes and Israelites. All right, he has you under total subjection. He has total authority. But hey, brother, if you had any closing statements or precepts, you can bring it out real quick, and then we'll go ahead and close it up.
Never trust thine enemy. As iron rusteth, so has his wickedness.
Khan. Yep.
That's all I had to say.
Khan, that's right, bro. That's right. That's exactly right. Hey, so that's the spirit. Hey, Lord willing, we'll do a part 2. And Lord willing, you brothers were edified. We want to give all praises to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Bakakwadash. Khan, double honors to our elders and apostles, and Shalom.
Shalom.